Hey guys, I'm going to make a video today about ancient coins, and I'm hoping that you find it somewhat interesting. This is just my opinion, and my opinion only, and I'm just getting into these, so I'm no expert, and I'm going to use some clips from channels that I think are more expert in this field, but I'm going to make some examples and talk about some things as I go along that are, again, just my opinion, but that might be interesting information no matter how you see it, or at least it is to me anyway. So this first clip I'm going to play here is from Strategic Wealth Preservation. Mark Yaxley, he's been making good videos for a while. Go over there and check them out, and I'm going to insert this clip here.
Hi, I'm Mark Yaxley. Welcome back to Inside the Vault. Today we're actually taking a step out of the vault to meet with a very close friend of mine who's been selling numismatic coins for over 40 years as well as antiques, Mr. Charlie Adams of Artifacts here in Grand Cayman. We're going to be speaking to Charlie about collectibles. What makes a coin collectible? What makes it special? And how do people get started in collectible coins? So without further ado, Charlie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Charlie, you know, a lot of our clients are very familiar with a 1 ounce gold coin, like a gold eagle that I'm holding here in my hand. And you've got some really interesting pieces on the table, I see. But what's the difference between a bullion coin and a collectible coin?
I think probably the first answer to that is history, because that is a piece of metal that is based on its intrinsic value. These are way beyond that. These are collectibles, they have history, they have art. So you're looking at a totally different level of interest. And numismatics is the study and collection of coins. So as I say, they don't even really equate. These have a basic intrinsic value, but they go way beyond that with the history and the condition and the stories about them.
Right, so you touched on there is obviously the metal content. There's some gold and some silver in those coins, but there's so much more to it.
So I paused it there just because I wanted to point out he is saying that there is some gold or there is some silver in those coins, and I think he's speaking to the broad ancient market, which is true. You get down into the Roman coins, which they also discuss here, and later you get debasement in your coins, and once early Greek coinage was pretty much only gold and silver, or a mix of gold and silver, but they were actually pure coins, or 97-98% purity on like a silver coin like this. They were actually really pure considering the time that they're from. So especially in the Greek, which is kind of where I like to look, most of the early coinage was either a mixture of gold and silver, which there's said that maybe it was a natural occurring alloy, but since then now it's pretty much agreed that no, they were mixing it themselves because of the continual ratio and some other things. But so yeah, and also once you got down, earlier coins were either gold, silver, or a mixture, but then once you get later down in the early BC, like 100, 200, probably 300 in there, they started to also use bronze in their coinage. And before that, they just had really small denominations of silver. But they were so small to make small purchases. Eventually, they just started doing bronze coins as well. So I just wanted to point that out, that early coinage was actually pretty pure. And like I said, there is an alloy mixture of gold and silver, but those are both, precious metals. So I just thought that was kind of interesting.
So if someone's just getting started in collectibles, there's obviously a lot of questions and a lot of information, and I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about these coins on the table in a second, but do you have any practical advice for someone who walks in your shop for the first time and said, I'd like to start. How do I start? Where do I start?
Sure. I think two things. Firstly, read, if you can, about the subject matter before you even consider buying. That is the primary thing, because if you don't know anything about it, it's very difficult to actually decide what you want or what you should be paying. And then talk to as many people, collectors, dealers, go to a coin show, visit an auction room, watch what happens. It'll give you an insight as to what people are chasing, and you might decide on an area that they're not chasing to be something that would be more affordable, something you could build a collection without spending an arm and a leg.
Why don't we talk a little bit about these great pieces you have on the table? You were showing them.
So, as he was saying, if you're going to get into ancient coins, find an area that you like, a coin that you're looking for, and do a bit of research on it. If you, like me, I'm kind of more interested in the Greek coins. There's kind of three main sections. You got your Greek is your early coins, Roman is kind of the middle, and Byzantine is the latter, out to the 1500s. Roman's about 0, and this is the BC back to about 700-800. But if you're deciding you like a coin, do a little bit of research on it so that you have an idea what you're looking for. Because what I want to point out today is, if you look at my Lysimachus coin and this guy's Lysimachus coin, I like both of these. I think they're both really good art. I think he probably has me beat just a little on art, on the artistic quality of the die engraver, but I think I have some things on it too. That's the thing about ancient coins is, there's going to be little differences in lots of these coins, whether it's different dies, different die engravers, or off-centered, or this, or there's lots of different things. But overall, what I'm wanting to point out here today is kind of the artistic quality, but also, like here, I wanted to have some good ripples there, or rings, as they're called on the horn of Oman there. I wanted those to be vivid. And I think I have a bit more there than he does. However, you can see just the overall artistic quality of that coin is very nice. Mine, I like mine as well. In fact, the back is very well centered and struck, and so I'm really happy with this coin. You can see they're from different mints. I have different symbology on the back here than he does on his. But again, what I want to point out is the artistic quality of the coin. That's really what I am interested in when I'm looking at a coin.
To me earlier, and I'm just amazed, to be honest. And I'm a bullion guy by trade, so why don't you walk us through briefly this wonderful set of coins you have here?
Sure. What I've tried to do with this little group of coins is to sort of historically follow a pattern of empires. The earliest one we have is a piece from Athens, which was struck somewhere between 454 and 413 BC. This was within about the first 150 years of coin production. Amazing. Before that, people pretty well bartered for everything. Mm-hmm. The idea of the coin was it was a consistent, known quantity of a known quality, so people could, without having to think about it, they could accept a coin. So the first one I have is a Greek Empire piece, followed by a beautiful coin of Alexander the Great. This is actually Alexander's portrait. Portraits were not put on coins at the time because they felt they would insult the gods if they had a portrait on there.
Okay.
But after he died, his bodyguard and general Lysimachus, who took Thrace over, decided to deify him. So this is actually the portrait of Alexander the Great with the horn of Ammon. This was struck somewhere around 316 to 280 BC. The next coin I brought in, this is a coin from the time when the Greek Empire was collapsing and the Romans became the dominant power. The tipping point was around 195 BC, and Rome took over Macedonia and produced this absolutely beautiful coin with the goddess Diana on, with the Macedonian shield round and the Club of Hercules on the back.
I'm amazed at the condition of these coins.
Well, these are high-end. They are basically coins that have probably come out of land finds or old collections over the years. People buried money, there were no banks. In times of economic hardship or in times of social unrest or an approaching army, people would do what people do now, which is hide their money under a bed or in a pot or whatever. So these are the very top end of coinage that you would see.
So this guy has some very nice coins, and I want to point out that he's holding his coins. And most, for the history of selling ancient coins, they've mostly been sold definitely in Europe and other places raw. And it's more just a later thing here in the US where most people, if they're going to buy an ancient, are going to buy it in a slab. We'll get into that more in a bit, but for now I just wanted to point out a few things. This guy is holding his coins. He has very nice coins, and there's a few things that he says in there that I disagree with. Now again, remember, I am just getting into ancient coins, so in no way am I authoritative. It's just my opinion. But I disagree with a few things he pointed or talked about there. One of which is before this tetradrachm, that most of trade was done by barter. And I mean, yeah, okay, maybe to a point, yeah, but I definitely believe we were using silver and gold pre-coinage, and so maybe it was weighted out or just chunks of silver and this and that. But I'm one of those that thinks that we were using gold and silver for quite a while as money. Maybe just weights and just balances. It was done on a scale, perhaps, certain amount of value of gold or silver for whatever item. And I'm sure there was other, obviously, barter without gold and silver, but I think gold and silver has been used from kind of pretty early on, kind of from get-go, really, as a good means of money, trade. So I think that we were using precious metals as a form of barter before the coinage. Now, these early coins here, like you said, this was within 100, 200 years of the beginning of coinage right here. And before this, we had also, we consider, well, some might not call them coins, but they were at least little rounds, look like basically shot, different sizes of beads, and they would have a punch on one side and just a round on the other. So there wasn't really any engraving done. Some people don't really consider those coins, and so okay, but they were definitely done in both gold and silver by weight. I don't know if they actually were done in silver. I shouldn't say that. I know they were done in gold and gold and silver mix. And so yeah, I think that we were using precious metals before coinage, but once, you know, they had those first just kind of rounded little beads, pellets for a form of money, equal balances basically, I think is what they were accomplishing there. And then eventually we went from just a punch on the one side to a punch with an image on the back side. Another thing that I kind of disagree with him on, or I disagree with him on, but I thought I would be alone on this, but I guess since making my channel and making videos, it's pretty much agreed upon now in the industry, or with a lot of people anyway, that like he was saying that this Lysimachus coin that he pointed out in that last clip is a portrait of Alexander the Great. And he was saying that that was the first time a portrait had been put on a coin. I disagree with that. I think that this coin as well, and probably others, were also done in the image of the ruler at the time. And sure, maybe, like, I guess in my mind, I think there could be also blending done, as like, okay, your ruler says make a coin to, you know, Zeus or something like that, and your engravers go to work, and at the end of the day you got one nice die engraver and somebody says, boy, that's starting to look a lot like you, boss, you know, as in adding some imagery that's going to look like your ruler or leader at the time to give you a little bit of favor if you're, you know, making him look like a god. So I would, you know, definitely think there is that going on. But yeah, I think this is definitely Alexander the Great on a coin here, done while he was alive and ruling. And so yeah, this coin, back out here, this coin down here is 100 years later, not 100 years later, but, you know, let's see what it was, 288 to 281, whereas this one was 300 to 323. I have to look at the exact dates on this. Anyway, this coin was done after this coin. So like that guy was pointing out, this was the first time that they were willing to put Alexander the Great on a coin. I disagree with that, but now it's pretty much agreed upon in the industry that this also is Alexander the Great. I think there was thought that he was Hercules before, or Zeus, I can't remember exactly, one of the gods anyway. But you know, yeah, you just take a look at this coin and look at a sculpture of Alexander the Great, and it's, you know, pretty much right there. So there's that. And what else did I want to point out? So in this next clip is going to be a clip from the Coin Geek, and he's got a great channel. Love his stuff. Go check out his channel, and I'm going to insert the next clip here.
Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have an open box video for you full of ancients, and let's get on with the show here. Take the time, of course, to hit the like button and go ahead and share this video, and you know what, just do what you want to do, but also help out the algorithm. So Caesar with the elephant's a really, really popular coin. This would be Julius Caesar, and this coin is not genuine. So I've had this for a bit back in a box because I was pretty sure it wasn't real. One of the things that you can see on here, and I want to point out, I'm going to take a closer look, but on all these little devices here, look in the field. You see all those little raised bumps? Kind of a telltale sign of some type of casting that was done. All those little bumped areas up there in the field. Also, I mean, the coin just kind of had I don't know how to describe this, an off look to it. But, you know, certain things you can only describe by having seen a lot of real ones. So this weighed, put the weight on these, right? So 3.25 grams. You know, so all in all, the weight is actually, you know, where it should be. But there was a whole lot of other stuff going on there that's just not quite right.
So that last clip with the bin in it is a good example of an ancient coin that was obviously poured or casted. Anybody who pours silver can easily see that, and probably even if you haven't done any pouring, you can still see how if you had a clay mold and pour it into it, you're going to not get all the little fill holes. You're going to have extra little bumps like you did on that coin. So that was a good example of a fake, so I thought I'd throw that in there. And yeah, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people get into the slabs with ancient coins, is because they're worried about ending up with a fake. So not that you can't fake a coin in a holder, but again, that's why people are going into holders, is because they want that vetting process to know what they're getting is original, and that's great and fine, and I understand that. For me, it takes away in that it's great to have it vetted, but it takes away from the coin itself and actually being able to hold it, which to me is what ancient coins are all about. So or owning ancient coins anyway, I should say. So this next clip though is what I wanted to use. Is actually the point of this video is going to be from everything we've seen today, but a good example here that I'm going to try and tie together on. If you're looking for an ancient coin, you know, figure out the coin you want to go after, and like I said, do a bit of research on it, because you need to know what you're looking for with ancient coins. You can't just say, I want a Lysimachus coin in a 5 of 5, the best grade, because it's not going to really mean what you think it means, which I'll explain here in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the next clip here. Be back in a second.
All right, the final coin is a customer's and not mine, but it's lovely, and I'm not 100% sure the exact value on it. We're going to see what we can do for him, but you know, I think it's at least a couple grand in this market, but I'll try to find out. This is what an ancient Greek coin looks like when it has mint luster on it, and super excited to show this coin off. Really, really cool. And you know, the design is fun on this guy, but really what's fun about it is it has, you know, that original mint luster to it. And fun. And of course, the Pegasus design is always cool, right? Pretty strong. If I had a horse, I'd want a Pegasus. This is from 350 to 275 BC. It's a stater. And the reverse symbol that symbolizes Athena. A mint state, strike of 5, surface of 3, and really, really cool piece. So congrats to my customer. I'm glad it did come back mint state, which is what I thought it would. And thanks so much for watching, guys. You can leave your comments down below.
Okay, on that last video clip, I wanted to just point out, you know, with this example of the coin, it's a 5 of 5 on strike, and I fully agree with it. I mean, if you look at the strike on this thing, I mean, you can see where they were making the little you know, engravings with their chisels and whatnot. I mean, I definitely agree that this is a mint state, you know, 5 of 5 on the strike. So I believe it was 5 of 5 on the strike and 3 of 5 on the surface. So in mint state, it got mint state as well. So I mean, I'm not arguing at all with the grading service, but that's kind of the key that I'm wanting to point out here. If you look at this Pegasus coin, and especially on the reverse, and with ancients, you got to know that, you know, this guy's probably buying it for the reverse or the obverse on this side, with the Pegasus on it, which I like as well. So you may buy a coin for one side and the other side is a bad die or off-centered or junk, and it doesn't make the coin bad because you're buying it for the side that has a good, you know, whatever you're looking for. But with this coin, if I was going to have a Pegasus coin, this is what I'm wanting to point out, is that just because it says 5 of 5 might not mean that that's the coin that you want. Because in ancient coins, it's all about the die engraver. If the die engraving is a new die, if it's been wore out, you know, those types of things. So I want to use this coin as an example. On this side with this Athena, if you look at this and you say, oh, that's great, and I agree, it's a great strike, but you know, for me, what does it about these ancient coins is the artistic ability, the life coming into the coin, the spirit. It's the spirit that gives life, as I like to say, and then tying that together with coins, the art, and just if it can bring the coin to life, that's what's drawn me to the ancient coins. This has a 5 of 5 strike, but if I compare it to a Pegasus coin like this, I would much prefer, even though this wouldn't have the 5 of 5 strike, it's wore down, it's got some issues to it, I would much rather have this coin than the other one because of the artistic ability in it. You look at the Athena on the reverse side here, when she flips it over, to me, the art on this coin is, oh man, just blows away this coin over here. So, you know, this is an Athena coin, okay, but it's a different die engraver, it comes from a different mint, so just because you say, oh, I want a Pegasus coin and I want a 5 of 5 strike and a 5 of 5 surface and I've got the best one, well, maybe so, in that you have the best strike. But again, you know, like, you know, if these coins are coming over from Europe and you know, they're used to the European, you know, ancient coin market is, they're used to these coins and they go through these coins, and so they're probably as well looking for not just a 5 of 5 on the strike or a 5 of 5 on the surface. It's what does the coin look like? Is the coin beautiful? To, you know, is the design the way you want it? And maybe it doesn't have to be beautiful. You might just be after certain design. People have different tastes in art, and that's, you know, that's great. But again, especially when it comes to grading ancient coins, it's not just like, oh, I got a 5 of 5 on the strike and a 5 of 5 on the surface, so I have the best Pegasus coin you'd want. Well, maybe not, because they might be sending it over from Europe because nobody wants this coin, even though it's a 5 of 5 and a 5 of 5, because the art isn't there. So, like, if I look at this Athena and then look at this Athena, I mean, my goodness, right? It's just, to me, this is much more of a beautiful coin. So even though it wouldn't have a 5, it's wore down, the surface isn't, you know, it's going to be wore as well, so you're not getting a 5 of 5 on this coin. but just its artistic ability, I think, sets it ahead. And well, let's look at another one. Like this is a different die, obviously different mint, so there's differences in that way as well. But they're both Pegasus coins. Now, if we go down, let's go to page 2 here. There's a couple more that are more along the lines of the one we were looking at there. Like here. Here's another example. So again, this one's really wore down, obviously. But, you know, just let's look at her face here. You know, to me, this is a much more elegant face than this one. So, you know, this is more what I'm wanting people to understand is, you know, look at what you're looking for in the coin. Like all the different Alexander the Greats, there's so much different character in the facial expressions or how the headdress is, and the guy on the back. Sometimes he'll be skinny and stick-figured looking, or sometimes muscular. So what are you going to, is it the symbology on the back of the coin or the front that makes it stand out that you're going after? There's a lot of different things in ancients, but to me the first and foremost is artistic. Like can you see, you know, the life in that coin? Like here's one that's really beat up and kind of toned up and ugly, but look at the character in her face is much more elegant and beautiful. So just because, I mean, these are, you know, they're both cool coins, and I definitely like this. Pegasus is missing a little silver off the back here, but I mean, I like the horse. As far as this coin goes, I mean, this is the side that you're buying. Obviously, I love the lightning down here, lightning bolt. So I definitely like this coin. You know, I would like to have this coin. So I'm not saying that, you know, it's not a good coin. I'd like it, but it's just look at what are you looking for. If it's the horse only, maybe that's what you're going for. But you know, if you're going for Athena or a feminine looking Athena, I would, you know, not look here, in my opinion. So those are some things that I find interesting that I've found so far in the ancient coin market. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if any of you guys are experts in ancient coins, you know, comment down below, tell me what I'm missing or what your thoughts on it. I'm just new in getting started in ancient coins, so I'm anxious to learn, and we'll see you on the next one.